what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. It's my day off. I went and saw The Hangover. If anyone hasn't seen that movie, go see it. It's funny, really funny. So it's raining outside. I figure why not do some videos. I just did a Klitschko video for his fight. I'm going to do a Juan Diaz, the Baby Bull Diaz versus, I think, a Magic Man for Paulie Malignaggi. Okay, this fight just got signed a little bit ago. Sounds like 138.5 for the catch weight. And I know if Blood watches this video, he's going to be like, really? A catch weight? And not only that, but 135 and a half. You know, like, come on, guys. What is that? Anyway, I do like the matchup, though. I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch. Both fighters, I believe, are fun to watch. Once in a while, Malignaggi can be boring because of a hand injury where he just kind of gets into survival mode and kind of gets on his bike and delivers his paper and just uses one hand. You know, but what's a guy gonna do? I mean, you seen Cotto with the bad cut. He was moving around the ring more. If you got a broken hand, you're not just going to sit there and brawl and use both hands at all times. You're going to be smart and try to win the fight. So other than that, like before a lot of these hand injuries started affecting him, Malignaggi was a fun fighter to watch. And when he fought Hatton, I think Jim Lampley or somebody was actually a merchant. I don't remember if it was Larry Merchant or whatever, but I don't remember exactly who Harold Letterman was getting in an argument with, but he was saying, no, usually he doesn't just do it one shot at a time. I'm talking about Malignaggi. He usually throws a bunch of punches, 5-6, combos. His hand speed, he doesn't have power, but his hand speed is nice, so he used to be a lot funner fighter to watch. Juan Diaz is a great fighter to watch. He's a true warrior. He's not going to be going to school. By the way, Juan Diaz, congratulations for graduating college. I heard, and I hope this is true, that you are taking a little break from school. Maybe you'll take one class or something. That wouldn't be a big deal, but you're going to take a little break before you go to law school and just focus for like 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years just on boxing and see where it takes you. Now, Juan Diaz has produced very well. Okay, in his career. He's only 25 or 26 years old, so you got to give him respect. He's been in there with a lot of quality opposition. Not that Malignaggi hasn't either. He's fought in Cotto and Hatton and, some good fighters. Okay, so don't get me wrong, but I do believe that he's fought the better opposition in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see when he's 100% focused on boxing. What Juan Diaz can do. Let's talk about each other. Both fighters. Anyway, both fighters. Juan Diaz, come forward guy, high volume guy, good hand speed guy. He does need to be a little smarter the way he fights. I know that he can kind of get a guy hurt or stung like he did Marquez. I'm not going to say he got him hurt, but he at least had him in the corner and hit him and made him off balance and looked like he got hit with some pretty good shots. Now Marquez is a different beast. He's cut from a different cloth than your average great to good fighter. That's what I see Juan Diaz as, a great fighter, A-level type fighter, right around that cusp of B to A, probably about a B plus, A minus, you know what I mean? And he may turn into an A, he may turn into a great fighter. He's a great fighter to watch, though. I think he needs to use his head a little more and switch it up a little more and not just try to spaz out and throw punches. But, he fought great even though he got knocked out against Marquez in his last fight. Nate Campbell beat him. But Freitas, I can't really think about how many people, but he beat a lot of people so far in his career. He's fought in some solid fights. And Diaz, I know he fought him. I just said Diaz, and there's David Diaz, there's Juan Diaz, there's another Diaz that he fought, and I can't remember him. He was a solid fighter. He's not anymore. But, just overall, even though he's lost some, so has Malignaggi, so I do believe he's gone probably against better talent. Maybe not, though. I don't know, because Cotto's in there. and that's a mix in there. But then again, Marquez is in there too. So I don't know. I would still say, considering that I believe that Juan Diaz has fought a little better talent. So I think he just needs to box more is what I'm kind of rambling on here. I think he needs to box a little more and be a little more smart, with his head. I think after he lost to Nate Campbell, if you saw how he fought against Casillas. Now those are two different fighters, but I think that's a little smarter of a way to fight. Circle around your opponent. Hit him, get him. I understand that he was thinking, oh man, I got Marquez in the corner, and he's sitting there. I got to take advantage of this. So he was doing the right thing in that fight, but I think he can learn from that a lot too. And like I said, I love how when he got hurt and went down and got back up, he came out swinging, and how he said after the fight that I knew that I had to come strong because he'd see my weakness. And he wanted to go out on a shield, and much respect to him because, man, that was a great fight. But he's a high-volume puncher, doesn't have a lot of power. I believe he has more pop than Malignaggi. And Malignaggi, slick boxer. I didn't like how he blamed his trainer in his last loss. I think that's BS a lot. You go fight. Just fight, man. Fight. Now, if the trainer was telling you some crazy stuff like, trip them or tackle them or headbutt them or, some kind of weird thing, then yeah, then you can start to blame him. Or if he was saying, you're up in the fight, kid, Hatton's just, you're holding them basically the whole time, kind of like Hatton fights, and you're up on the scorecards. Then, I could see that, but I don't think you can blame your trainer in that position. He said he wants to get back to the old him. Well, right now we don't really know where he's at as a fighter, I believe. His last handful of fights have been disappointing, and I think it is due to the hands, and he just can't throw combinations like he used to be able to do. He used to throw, then get out, throw, then get out. His thing is he was always in the brawls. Although he's a slick boxer, he got into brawls and ended up getting caught with some big punches. If you've seen him fight, you know what I'm saying. But I think this is going to be a great, great fight. Both of them have something to prove. Both of them coming off big losses of their careers and have something to prove. So that usually means a good fight. This is going to be on a doubleheader. And I'm actually going to do... Robert Guerrero is fighting a guy that I've heard of a little bit. He has a title. I gotta check this guy out before I do a video on that, but I am going to do a video on the undercard. It is a free HBO fight, August 22nd. Let's just talk about who I think is going to win. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth fight. I do favor Juan Diaz. I think he's going to learn a little bit from the Marquez fight. When you're fighting a guy that can box, not just to spaz out, to take your time. Yeah, when the guy's hurt, you got to take advantage of it. Just ask Claudia. He should have taken advantage of it. But you don't have to, spaz out and just try to get it all done in that second. You can pick your shots, and if a guy's hurt, he's not going to be able to defend himself as well. So you can even feint and and hit him low to the, or not hit him low, but get him to the body. You look for openings and pick them apart. You know what I mean, and don't necessarily just spaz out. So here's the deal. I think Juan Diaz, if Malignaggi had some pop even, if he, had some pop, I would probably think it'd be a tighter fight. Not to say it's not going to be tight, but I would probably slowly be thinking more Malignaggi could pull it off, or at least thinking that. I think Juan Diaz will win this fight. I think if you can't really slow down Juan Diaz, you're probably going to be in for some trouble. He's a very aggressive fighter. And, both of them have flaws, but I think Juan Diaz will win in a unanimous decision. I wouldn't doubt if it's like a 116-112, or maybe even like a 115-113. You never know, because I don't know which Malignaggi I'm going to get. Is it going to be the Malignaggi against Cotto, who fought like a warrior? Or is it going to be a guy that was actually using Hatton's style, hit and hold, but yet he wasn't really throwing punches. He was just getting clocked by a slower fighter who's not really a boxer. He was getting work like that. So, we're going to see exactly what happened to that. What are we looking for time? Oh, I got to go. All right, Juan Diaz decision. This has been the Rope Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. Peace.